Open a mainstream Christian Bible in an Indonesian or Malaysian church today, and you won't find the English word God or the Hebrew Elohim. Right there on the printed page, the text refers to the Creator as Allah. Go to a Catholic Mass in Malta, an island whose population is overwhelmingly Catholic, and you'll hear the exact same word echoing off the church walls, Allah. In the West, many assume that Allah is strictly the Muslim God, a deity separate from the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jesus. But linguistically and historically, that distinction does not exist. The term has deep, ancient Semitic roots. Trace its linguistic family tree back thousands of years, and you find the Aramaic word Elohah, the word for God used by early Middle Eastern Christians, and even by Jesus himself. Look at the sister language, Hebrew, and you'll find the closely related word Eloah. Well, before the 7th century, Arab Christians were already using Allah in their own poetry and invocations, long before the emergence of Islam. If the word already belonged to Christians, Jews, and pagan Arabs, the question remains, how did early Islamic scholars take this pre-existing term and construct an entirely new, specific theology around it? Most classical Arab grammarians agree on the word's origin. It starts with the Arabic definite article al, meaning the, paired with elah, meaning a deity or God. The Arabic language naturally merges them together into Allah, translating literally to the God. But the God wasn't the only God in town. In pre-Islamic Arabia, the geographic and cultural center of religious life was the Kaaba in Mecca. At that time, local pagan tribes recognized Allah as a supreme creator, but they worshipped him alongside 360 lesser idols, including a group of deities they called the daughters of Allah. Among these tribes, the universe was ruled by a blind, insensible fate, a power that offered neither mercy nor reason, leaving human life entirely outside of human control. The arrival of the Quran in the 7th century systematically dismantled this system. It stripped away the daughters, the idols, and all the intermediaries. Instead of a crowd of lesser gods and a universe ruled by cold fate, early Islam established the principle of Tawhid. It demanded belief in an absolute singularity, a powerful, unified, and personal creator. This strict singularity created a challenge for early Islamic theologians. How do you describe a being who is supposed to be entirely transcendent, completely free from any earthly comparison? The Quran provides 99 beautiful names to help humans understand the divine character. We hear descriptors like the merciful, the compassionate, or the living. Early scholars were precise in their definitions. They categorized these 99 descriptors strictly as attributes. They describe how God acts toward humanity, but they are not the essence of the entity itself. By contrast, scholars like Al-Razi argued that the word Allah stands completely apart. They classified it as ism li dati, a proper noun pointing directly to the core essence. Because of this, Allah is established as the proper name of God. In Islamic theology, it doesn't translate to a God. It is a unique identifier that cannot be equated to any earthly concept or object. Still, human beings have a habit of anthropomorphism, the tendency to apply physical, human traits, like sitting on a throne, to a formless deity. To combat this, some scholars debated an alternative linguistic origin for the word. They suggested it didn't come from the root ila at all, but rather from wila. Wila translates roughly to the object of mystery. It describes a nature that resists definition, a deity that the human mind can gesture toward, but never fully grasp or contain. Whenever religious texts used physical metaphors, like God's hands or God's throne, scholars labeled those verses mutashabat. They are metaphors designed to aid the mind, but their true interpretation is known only to the divine. This gave rise to the doctrine of bila kaif. It's a theological rule requiring believers to accept the essence of God without asking how. You accept the text, but you don't demand a physical blueprint. Through this lens, the word Allah operates as a philosophical boundary line, drawn to protect the divine from being reduced to human dimensions. Islamic theologians successfully built a philosophical fortress around the word, elevating it to Lafz al-Jalala, the word of majesty. The word now carries a unique, heavy Islamic weight. Yet linguistically, it remains what it has always been, a shared Semitic loanword. Its broader usage never broke. Even today, you will find it used by Sephardic Jews in specific traditional contexts. And it is still spoken daily by millions of Arabic-speaking Christians across the globe. The etymology of Allah maps humanity's evolving attempt to name the unnameable and describe a mystery that predates the religions that claim it.